I'm gonna get one here. There's like a bunch of them right there where I just casted. Got him. No.
Oh, he's got him. See what I mean by fun?
The interesting thing is, look at the mega live right here. Look at that big school of fish out there, and it's, you know, flat, calm conditions. These fish are pretty skittish.
Ooh.
They just got done spawning, and they're sort of went flat, calm, and sunny, and you can see them sitting on the tops of these bars. And you know, we're ripping other higher speed baits, and it goes to show you how depth, size, and speed of the bait is really critical in any presentation.
This is so much fun, James.
Yeah, I know.
After a long winter, oh, that's another nice eater. Eater.
Come on.
Eater. Was that on a little hair?
Yeah. Yep.
You've been doing good on that. I'm throwing traditional hair. This is interesting. Kind of fun.
Yeah, this is a bucktail hair jig. You know, a lot of in the bass world is a big thing for smallmouth and the bass, but these really sort of finesse baits are incredibly effective for walleyes. You know, we end up fishing lakes with both smallmouths and walleyes in them, and it's incredible how at certain points in times, particularly when the fish are shallow and spooky, when it's time to bust out the little tiny bucktails.
Walleye. Not a big one, but a walleye. Actually quite small for here. Smallest walleye that we caught since we've been here. This is the bread and butter of the walleye fishery anywhere. Go get a bunch of these for eating. Guides' dreams. This is what they love. People come up, fillet a walleye. We don't want the little ones now, we want big ones in there here. And they're biting on hair. Jimmy's got a different new VMC hair jig, and I'm throwing the bread and butter for me for bigger walleyes, the moontail, but new color. Rapala VMC division of Rapala, they gave me 2 new colors. Black and purple with some gold slits in this one. This little baby here has been really good. And so I got new colors to play with. Colors do make a difference, especially in smallmouth fishing and walleye fishing. We might even talk a little bit about that as the day goes on. We're just kind of having fun here.
Interesting thing is we stopped at the bait shop on the way out here, and he said that the bite was really tough, and there was a reason why. And what it is, we had a giant midge hatch, and that classically a time when these hair jigs really can really super shine. You know, when all of a sudden the conditions are really tough, and they say the bite is sort of off because the fish are feeding on all the bugs. You see all the midge all over the water. They're really small fish flies. And that's when this really shines. You know, in this, we catch them out of weed beds, you know, inside weed lines, rocks, but the biggest thing is generally it's pretty shallow because you got to be able to control the bait speed. This has also helped a lot. We catch them a lot before we had forward-facing sonar as well, by just combing, you know, just fan casting and moving around these underwater structures, just fan casting, which you can do the same thing. I'm sort of sight fishing, Al's sort of blind fishing in the back to a degree, but once I identify an area, a lot of times what I'm liking to do is to use the talons and lock the boat down, and we can just cast into that area where that pot of fish is at, which is sort of nice. We really have really good conditions for this, like right now where it's relatively calm. And the fish are really spooky. The water is really clear. You can probably see in the 10 foot of water in this lake easily. It's sort of interesting because you see them sort of roving around on this thing. You can see the small pods. The pods of fish are just moving around on them over the tops of these humps. There's a whole bunch of them up there right on the tip of this thing out here. You know, one thing that is critical in any presentation, it's the depth, size, and the speed of the bait you're fishing. And one thing I could say, something about how forward-facing sonar has really educated me on so much how important that fact is, because it's amazing, because you can actually see them, like right there, those are walleyes right there. Those are walleyes on the top of a hump. These fish are suspended about 3-4 feet down. And what we're gonna do is take that little tiny hair jig. If you were to throw a really aggressive bait presentation, these fish right now are really darn spooky. And you bring that really subtle bait in your little, we fished for smallmouths like this the same way with this little bucktail. This is like about an 1/8. So this thing is not really bouncing on the bottom. It's actually swimming it right through the water column. But it's really incredibly effective at times, especially when the fishing is sort of somewhat tough. Look at that there, boy, there's a bunch of them right there. Look at those guys right there. And see if I can punch you right into them. Right there, oh man, that's a bunch of them right there. You can see what's going on. Do you know why the fish are suspended up off the bottom? They're looking for warmer water. It's spring, and the fish are actually up pretty high in the water column. Oh, look at that. Come on, buddy. Boy, they're a little skittish, I tell you. Oh, there I got them, finally. There, I finally got them. You see what I mean? They're really delicate, really slow, and very methodical presentation. You know, so many different lures, you know, are really high-speed attractor baits, you know what I mean? And we have some on the deck of the boat, you know what I mean? Which are really key baits to find fish at different points in times when the fish are active. But the thing is, that's what I was talking about initially, about the how Mega Live has actually really just cemented how the importance of changing this, getting the right size and speed of your presentation is everything. It's like all of a sudden, it's like turning the light switch on and off and catching fish. It's amazing to me. But it really shows it, because you actually see the fish looking at the bait and not biting it or biting it. Come here, buddy. Look at that. Pretty one. Pretty one. Huh. There you go. Oh. Beauty. Come on, buddy. Look at them right there. There's a whole bunch of them little ones right there. The fish are between 60 and 80 feet out, and there's a whole bunch of them. It's really nice if I can actually, right here, I can even talon on these guys so we don't have to drive over them. Boy, look at them. The only problem, if you're the guy in the back of the boat that don't have the ability to look at the Mega Live, which is sort of a bummer, but hell's still catching them in the back. Okay.
What size are you throwing?
1/8. You know, one thing that's really important, I said depth, size, and speed of the bait. One thing is, and we've seen this many times when we're fishing for smallmouth bass, when it gets really flat, calm, and hot, how something as simple as just the jig weight, when you go from like an 1/8, and when it gets really, really tough, a 1/16 is the bait to throw. And the reason why, because what it's doing is you're really slowing the speed of the bait, of the presentation down. A lot of times, as I was saying, we're not really bouncing this on the bottom. At certain times we do fish with like moontails, and we're ripping it through weed beds and ripping it off the bottoms. But a lot of times with these really small finesse baits, is what we're doing is swimming the bait very, very slowly, only like mimicking like a leech or a bug in the water. Okay, I like this, that we're tethered down. Oh boy, look at them, they're out. We got a bunch of them cruising around right in front of us here. Look at those guys, right there. Oh, look at that right there. There's a whole bunch of, got them. That's what I mean. You just pitch it out, that's amazing. It's like, oh, that's fun, it's fun. It's really, really a fun way to catch fish. It really, it's fabulously cool. And I can't even tell you, not only big walleyes, but the biggest thing is how many 5 to 7 pound smallmouth bass or 6.5 pound smallmouths I've caught on this exact same presentation. Look at that guy. Boy, is that beautiful. Wow. Look at that guy. Wow. Wow.
Absolutely amazing how
What's in?
they're eating that.
What's in?
It's amazing how they're eating it.
Okay. Come here, buddy. Come on.
Now I'm back in the game with you.
Why?
I got.
You were fishing too heavy? Look at this guy here. Punch. Right through the nose. Come here. Look at that guy there. Beautiful fish, aren't they? Just, I mean, almost every one of them. None of them are real big ones, but I mean, they're nice sized fish.
All game fish tend to be opportunistic feeders. In lakes and rivers across the North Country, walleyes have a number of different prey species that changes seasonally. In early spring, walleyes often take advantage of perch and shiners spawning in shallow grass and rock flats. Once the water hits about that late 50-degree range, the first bug hatches start to occur. These hatches usually emerge from soft bottom areas. Aquatic invertebrates are a great food source for many predatory fish. Because the fish can easily and quickly pack their bellies so full of bugs, this period often makes for tough fishing conditions. Midges, also known as fish flies or mayflies, emerge from soft bottom areas in deep water. During these mayfly and midge hatches, you will often see a lot of suspended life in the water column. Stonefly and caddisflies emerge from shallow and rocky-bottomed or hard-bottom areas. Dragonfly and damselflies emerge from shallow vegetation. Each of these emerging bug hatches can direct fish movement. To catch walleyes during bug hatches, small, slow-moving baits are key. Light 1/16 to 1/32 ounce VMC hair jigs are one option. A jig in small, half, or even a 1/3 of a nightcrawler is another way to go. A small to moderate leeches suspended under slip float can be the ticket to coax bug-eating walleyes as well. A spinner rig and crawler, both deep and shallow, can also work. No matter if it's deep or shallow, the linchpin for any of these presentations is to position your bait slightly above the fish with a slow, steady retrieve.
Got another one. That's what I mean. It's like, the other big part of the throwing hair, really small baits, is the right rod and reel and line to be able to cast baits a long distance. I mean, it really helps a lot. Wow. Boy, Al, they're getting bigger, Al.
Yeah, are they a little bit better?
Yeah, this one's a bigger one. Come on, buddy.
You got the net.
Boy, look at that guy. How do you like that? Al doesn't like me anymore. So I gotta net my own fish. Come here, buddy.
I'm busy tying on one of these baits. You've been creaming me.
Come on. Okay. Come here, buddy. Boy, I'm not kidding you. We're talking serious fun. Look at that guy. Oh, bucktail. Come on, buddy. Look at that thing. Beautiful fish, so come on. Okay. No, but as I was saying, the right rod and reel and line, this actually is a hair jig rod that's actually designed for bass fishing by St. Croix. So it's a really can cast the bait a long distance. This is a medium light, extra fast. And so what that medium light does, it gives it, see how it bends into the blank pretty far down, almost 2/3 of the way down the blank. But what that also helps you do, the length of the rod, but then the extra fast action helps cast a really light bait a long distance, which is really super key for all different, whether you're hair jigging walleyes or hair jigging bass, you know, getting the baits out and away from the boat, because you can see like where we're sitting here, see them? These are walleyes. And the fish are 100 feet away, and they're in 6 foot of water and sitting on the top of a rock pile. Okay, are we ready for the next one? Okay.
And I'll add one thing to that. No bait necessary. Just the way it is. And you start doing it fish after fish after fish. Fish after fish after fish. You get that right, amazing how many fish you can catch when you figure it out with artificials. And walleyes are no different. no different.
You know, the reel is also really important in the line. Actually, this is a Fuego LT Daiwa, 3,000 size. A lot of times I've been actually using even the 3,000 to 4,000 side. The reason being it enables me to make longer casts, no question about that. And then I have a 10-pound test 832 braid on here with 8-pound test fluorocarbon leader. Sometimes for walleyes in particular, you may want to go sometimes as light as 6. If you know, a lot of times we're fishing super clear water where that lighter leader can make a big difference. I know when we go like fishing in the Great Lakes, a lot of times what I'll make, not only that, I'll make the leader quite long. You know, a lot of guys run it for just like a 6-foot length of fluorocarbon. A lot of times what I'll do is fish like 15 feet of fluoro in really super clear water conditions.
I think that's a walleye. I'm on the board with you finally. Feels like a pretty good
There's
one.
a whole bunch of them in here. That's a walleye.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, nice one.
Yeah,
Two of them.
What?
There's 2 of them.
Wow. Look at that guy. See, I'm a nice guy. I come back and net your fish for you. You see how that was?
You don't
What
have
do you
to
think
lay 'em
about
down
that? You see how that?
Oh, look at that. It's weird. The head of the jig, there it is. The head of the jig went through. These are nice fish by anybody's standards, but they're not the big monsters. But boy, they're sure fun to catch day in and day out. Minnesota, Wisconsin, South Dakota, Michigan, areas of the Great Lakes. The Great Lakes, you get them bigger than that though. But here, the hair jig revival is here. I mean, it really is. Fine-tuning hair jigs by a lot of different anglers in different parts, especially for walleyes. Walleyes and smallmouth. And it's really becoming an art in many places in the country to find points of hair jigging.
Got him. Yeah. Ooh. That's a good one there.
Good one?
Yeah, that's a good one. Ooh.
Way up on top. Gotta be
I like the Fuego's drag too because it's got that little bit higher pitch sound when you're light line fishing, so you don't break it off. I like that, almost have more of a metallic sound. Yeah, can you get this guy? Oh man.
It's a big fish.
Yeah, I know.
Just spit up a perch.
Wow. That's what it. Also, that's when you talk that longer action, more that, you know, longer back through the length of the blankets helps for fighting big fish. Come here, buddy. Okay, there you go. Okay.
Look at that perch that it spit up.
Wow. Huh. What do you think about that?
The swimming, I mean, she was way up there. Way up. I love doing this, it never gets old. Anything that bites on hair, swimming hair, is fun.
The power of the hair jig. I mean, it's it's an amazing deal. You know, the simplicity of it. The thing is, actually, when you look at the, you know, hair jigging, because it was such years ago, you know, it seems like hair jig sort of went out of style because of the soft plastics craze. But in recent years, they've came back a lot. We'll get this little guy back in the drink here. Come on, buddy. Okay.